the children started coming in for that, and those children were so well behaved. And you could tell that by the town that those children didn't have much of anything, that nobody in the town did, in that part of that town. It was very impoverished, but those children had dressed, you could tell, in the best clothes they had to come to that. You know, just, they were appreciative of everything. They were well behaved in all those 4 activities that they went to from place to place. Mm-hmm. But yet they were enthusiastic when they were supposed to participate. And that they all sat on concrete floors mm-hmm. to do these crafts. And they sat on a concrete floor to hear their Bible lesson. It just was, they didn't have any of the comforts that we have, mm-hmm. and yet they weren't aware of that. They were happy in spite of it. And I don't think our children realize here what they have and how other people live.
The thing I remember the most is the kids, just getting to work with them, just seeing how they live, what they've been through, what they go through, how different their life is versus how different my life is or anyone else that here lives in the States. And it really just helped you open your eyes and just really get to see the other side and make you really appreciate what you have here.
The kids were just one of the best parts about the trip. I just loved interacting with them. They were so sweet, all of them were so smiling and happy, and they were just so loving. And just to see their happy faces and, you know, just to get to interact with them was one of the best parts.
The kids were amazing. I thought it was going to be very hard to communicate with them since we spoke a different language. But as they always say, the language of love, a smile, a hug, just a gentle touch means a lot, and it means the same in every language.
I'll definitely want to encourage them. I definitely want them to go. I've done a lot of trips and activities before that some of them have been service projects where I just go out and put myself before others and just get to serve and do what God did. And some of them have just been about learning and growing and me growing closer to God, me growing closer to other people. And this trip was kind of like a combination of the both.
I would tell somebody to definitely go. It's an eye-opening experience to see just how other people live, their faith in God, how they perceive God, as well as how they live out their faith, how they may be different from you in many ways as far as economically, socially, but still they have the same heart and the same desire to love and to be loved and to be a servant of God.
Well, having been twice now and been able to see the growth from the first time I went around 2002 to now, it's a great experience to see a church growing from from almost the very beginning to be able to know what's happening there, what's going on there, and the way our church has been involved with their church, and the love that they have for us, and vice versa.
Encourage anybody that had an interest in doing that, because it allows you to see Christians in other places who are not like the Christians in going to another congregation here. Those people are hungry for everything, and not just the worship, because most of the people I met were already Christians, but they're so actively involved in that work. Mm-hmm. They work with each other, they love each other, they're more of a family together, that they know each other.
Deixe
most memorable experiences were the families that we stayed with and how sweet they were and how welcoming, and they made it feel like home. And every night we would, even though there was a language barrier and we hardly understood each other, we just shared laughs and conversations.
The thing that stood out to me the most about the trip to Brazil was while teaching the ladies class, I made a connection with another woman who was in a similar position that I had been in. She was suffering in her personal life, and she made it clear that she enjoyed my lesson and that she learned a lot from it and she could identify with it. And that meant a lot to me because here lately I've been struggling to find my purpose, and as I've drawn closer to God, I realized that my purpose is to comfort those as Jesus has comforted me, as it says in 2 Corinthians. So I wanted to do that, and I did that, and I think I touched a lot of lives, and they touched me, and we were able to share our stories as well as our triumphs and what we learned from our own experiences and how we can help others.
Memorable moments was going to the VBS. We were able to experience being with a lot of the children in the area. Amanda, my daughter, went with us, and she was able to spend a lot of time with a little girl named Kimley, who really touched her heart. And I think at first Amanda was a little bit scared of how she should treat these children, but they got to her heart as much as she got to theirs.
What was awesome was that a lot of the songs that they sang in worship were, I could tell the melody, I could tell the harmony from the songs, but they were just in a different language. So I could almost kind of hum along to them.
The worship was incredible. It was, I mean, it's so much, they're just so into it. It's just the singing, the smiles, everybody smiling. The song leader was just so into it. It was just, it's not, seemed like, you know, get kind of complacent here a lot, but they were just so alive and just, you know, just, the song leader was just moving around. It was great. It was just incredible.
The worship was similar and different. Of course, it was a different language, but I thought it was really interesting and really amazing to see them singing some of the same songs that we sing in just a different language, and how just seeing a whole nother nationality, you know, sharing the same faith as us, and that was special, I think.
They seem to have a love for one another, that a Christian love, where they spend a lot of time, their time together, and they also, every meeting they have, from just a regular meeting to their worship services, they express a lot of joy and I know that they feel it in their hearts, and it seemed very exceptional there in Brazil.
One thing that struck me about the worship was how it really is a true act of worship. It's not, they don't seem to have the same. They're not really self-conscious about the singing and stuff like that. I think over here we get kind of bogged down with, oh, am I sounding good to the person next to me? But everybody, it was evident that they were singing at the top of their voice, and they were giving God all that they had, and it was more than enough, and it was a really memorable worship.
I'd like to say thank you first to the elders for making this trip possible, and I'd like to say thank you to Daniel and Jonna for being our tour guides. You would have think they had lived there for a while, the way they knew their way around. Anyway, we had a wonderful time, and it was so much because of the congregation, for everyone who participated in the yard sale or ate at Pizza Perfect, prayed for us, or gave private donations. We appreciate it so very much. And because not everybody can actually go to Brazil, but it's like everybody was with us in spirit because it was so much of a joint effort. And I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Hi, brother. Everybody's tired. I hope it's a good tired though, and hope maybe you'll sleep on the plane tonight on your way back. But we're thankful for you guys, and I just want to pray for a safe trip. Let's pray.
I love you.